Hey, what's up, kayak anglers? What's up, dude? Huh?
Logan wanted to come.
Nice. Is he here?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nice.
I told him, I said, we're fishing till dark. He said, it's fine.
How old is Logan, dude?
7.
7. Nice. All right. Gotta take some of these saltwater jigs off. We ain't really saltwatering with this guy. The Z-Man jig head. No, sir. We're gonna use some crankbaits today. It's windy. We're gonna fish a little deep. So as we're fishing deep, we're gonna use some of our deep sinkers. Let me show you what I picked up today. See this Rapala? Has a little yellow tint. It's like a shad color. All right. This one's the SR07 HSD Rapala. Pick this up and I'll show you why I'm gonna use this. We're here at Beaver Dam. See that long little lip right there? For me? Oh, it's gonna get in deep. This causes it to go deeper. All right, so if I'm fishing about 15 feet, 10 feet of water, I'm gonna go something like that. We're gonna try to pull the fish out of the bottom. So as we troll. So, and I'm going with a heavier rod.
What was that? Yeah. What are you throwing? Me and him fished that hard like 2 days ago.
And just bring the sun out, which is awesome. All right. Let's do a, y'all know what knot I'm gonna be using, that Diego knot. All right, I'm probably leaving just a foot on my leader line. I'm just leaving a foot. And I don't need anything crazy. 10 pound, 15 pound leader line is good.
Don't worry about
Nice.
that, buddy.
Nice and tight.
No, I got it back for you.
Bam, ready to go. Okay. See that? A foot of leader line. Bam. My deep sinker. This is gonna be my trolling one right here.
All right, buddy. We're gonna put the worms in your kayak and your baits in your kayak.
Where'd you get the worms at?
Those are from G-Town.
Nice. You go today?
No, it was the other day I went.
Nice. What's up, Logan? You ready to do some fishing today, buddy? Nice. I'm still impressed with that big old perch you caught the last time. That was a big perch.
That was big perch, dude. So we're gonna keep this stuff back here for you. Actually, you know what?
That's also another deep sinker right there.
We'll just put it
Berkeley,
all-
it's a good company right there. I like them. I've caught with this orangey tint. I don't know what it is, but this white mixed with the orange is some of my favorite. And it's a big lip right here. It's gonna be a deep sinker. Gets to get really low. Water level is gonna be like way down here. It's gonna force it to come down every time like that. So, and this one's the Fusion. It's a slow rise. It goes to about 11, 13 feet. You're gonna list it right here, 11, 13 feet. Tells you how deep this goes. So if you're fishing in areas that's like 5 feet, probably not ideal to use this bad boy. But all right, I'm gonna finish rigging up and I'm gonna head out in the water, y'all. Man, look at that guy. Look, it's cool. You ready to fish, big man? All right. Who's that over there? Got him. Breaking in his new kayak. Look at that bad boy.
Now I can fit in the cool boy.
Yeah, now you cool. You get the pedal system going with the Outback over there. All right, in the front is Andrew, right there. And that's Logan, little 7-year-old son, cruising. All right, we are earning our bass today. Where we got Dylan's back here in his new Outback somewhere over here. I'm trolling right now. Over here you got Andrew and his son Logan. They are out here in this crazy wind too. It is a bad wind day, but they're in a nice stable kayaks. One's a Hoodoo Tempest. That's what Andrew's in, and then Logan's in a Seaghost 130 or 120. Oh man, they're cruising out there. All right, we're out here bass fishing. I'm doing the deep areas for right now. I'm fishing all the drops. I'm using a deep crank. I'm using some white colors. and shad natural colors, and just cruising right now across that area. I'm looking for areas that I want to fish, where I'll be throwing a chatterbait into some maybe weeds and some brush. But yeah, and I'm using a chartreuse tail on those, trying to really just attract the fish out here. But it's a windy day. It's really tough to troll when it's windy, especially when you want to go one direction and the stuff wants to take another. So we're trying. To my right, y'all can't see it, but it's a nice flat. It's about 2-3 feet, and then over here where I'm at is drops down to about 10-15. So we're pretty much fishing that drop and looking for any tags, trying to see if any fish are going to hit it. Yeah, that's about all we're doing today. So probably one of my last days of bass fishing for a while. These tournaments are killing me, but I'm also getting pulled to bass fish when I really want to start doing some trout fishing and some flounder fishing. So hopefully you'll start seeing some of that here in Virginia. But all right, we're coming up to some crazy drops. It's going like this out here. So I have to watch where I'm at. I have some fins underneath I'm doing a pedal kayak. So I got those fins underneath, and they only go out about maybe 1.5 feet. So if I go into an area that's like going too fast and it's like a foot, I could hit my fins, so gotta be careful. But the fins do spread down. I don't know how to show y'all this, but so these are my fins. They're going like this. Well, they do spread apart like this. I don't even know if that even made sense. Okay. All right, y'all. Hopefully I can catch a fish today. We'll see how it goes. We're going for bass. You're watching Naughty Fish. Thank you. All right, I picked this little bad boy. It's a Flicker Shad 7. It is just an awesome jerkbait. It's a deep sinker. You can see that big old lip. The bigger the lip, the deeper it drops. All right. I prefer to change these out to my Gamma hooks, but Fusion does make some really good hooks, and these are Fusion hooks. So I have no problem using these bad boys. It definitely seems like every time I keep coming out, it's always just stormy weather. Look at that. Outback. Being all nuts right now. All right, how did I know that this beautiful Rapala was gonna catch, this white color was gonna catch one of these things? So if y'all are fishing for these chain pickerels here, white color seems to be a go-to out here. I don't know what it is about white, but they like white. Also, and I'm holding behind the gills because they're really slippery and they'll slide out backwards. So I'm trying to get them to not leave my hands. They're really slimy. Hey, quick learning tip. Do y'all see the spots on it? Do you see how the spots are kind of bled in with each other? For those that are asking the difference between a pike and a chain pickerel, this is a chain pickerel. They're almost exact the same. I'm trying to hold him where he's trying to slide right now. Y'all can't tell, but he's slimy. He's trying to come out my hand. They call them darts too, because they fucking look like darts. But the ones that bleed their spots together is an actual pickerel, and then the beautiful pikes will have distinct circles. All right, guys, I'm gonna let this one go so I don't kill it. All right, let's watch this healthy release here. They are very strong animals, so they're fine. Healthy release. Let's look at this lure that they bit. It's a deep sinker, so it's really, really low. It's a white kind of color, chat color. It's called a flicker shad, and has that little red tint to the bottom. But I think what attracts these pickerels is this beautiful white color. They love white. If you troll with the soft plastic or any color that's white, they seem to always hit that. All right, y'all, that was a chain pickerel. We just released it, and we're still trolling out here. All right, I just released that pickerel. I was talking to y'all about the spots is a good way to determine if it's a chain pickerel or a pike. Also, depending on your region. If you're in Virginia, ideally, most lakes and rivers will have pickerels, chain pickerels. But if you're out there in the northern area of the states, you're probably looking at pikes. So, but circles, if they're distinct circles and they're not kind of meshed together, then it's going to be a pike. If it's all meshed together, then it's probably going to be a chain pickerel. Something to think about. They got sharp teeth, so if y'all saw, I didn't try to grab it by its mouth because that would be suicidal for my fingers. But I will also use, let me show you here. I'll also use a stringer right here to jam that in its mouth to hold it if it's too big for me to grab or something. But yeah, so hey, the white color, if y'all trying to catch chain pickerels, which for whatever reason, some people do eat them and catch them, you might want to look at white colors. You troll with white colors, you'll probably catch them. It's just what it is. I'm using shad colors. I normally don't troll, but I figured today I'm going deep water. I'm just trolling. It's my last day of my tournament for the Virginia Kayaking Trail. It is an online tournament with the Tourney X app. You upload all your fish. You'll use a board like this. Let me show you. Some of my videos, you've already seen this board. Use a board like this. This is a fish stick board. They got hog trough, they got catch boards, they can get pretty pricey, and then they got some really economical ones too. So either or, those boards are, you gotta get the right board so that it's legal. You take a picture of your fish, you'll put an ID, something like this with little numbers on them. Those numbers are provided when the tournament starts. You go onto the app and it'll tell you what number you put on in your picture. But yeah, so today's my last day. I'm sitting tied for 4th place. I was doing good with 2nd place for a while. I'm going against some really tough anglers. Tyler Bumgardner here in Virginia is just, he's a beast. He's a beast. Anytime I see his name, I'm like, oh my God. He's good. He's really good. Casey Reed, for those that are in the kayak community, especially for bass fishing, you probably already know who he is. He's well known already. Last year, I think he won KBF 4 times champion. So that dude, saw his name, I'm like, yep, he's gonna win. So between him and Tyler, I've already expected those two to go head and head, which they already are. I believe this morning Tyler he took the lead. So either or, that's just an amazing tournament. I mean, the numbers, so out of all the bass you can catch, if you catch 20-inch bass, it doesn't matter. Your top 5 bass is all they count. So right now, Tyler was in like, I think 107 inches. And then Casey was in 105 or something. They're really close. They're over 100. So the top 5 bass have equaled 100 plus inches, which tells you how big the bass are. They're at least 20 inches. So that's wild. I'm sitting at 97.75 or 25. So I'm doing pretty good. This year alone has been a really good year. I've been using a lot of different tackle. I've been trying different things, various spinner baits, chatter baits, finesse rigs, swim jigs, you name it. Today I'm using crankbaits and different type of deep sinkers and stuff like that. But try different stuff. I kind of look at the overcast and kind of look up here. I kind of look at what colors I'm going to be using. And I think I talked about it before. A lot of times when it's clear water, I look at more natural colors of what's out here for the different type of bait fish. And then also if it's murky or dark outside, I look at brighter colors, you know, things that might attract the fish a little bit more, whites, reds, pinks, stuff like that. Even the orange is doing really good this time of year. So every state's different. So every state, y'all's temperatures and the water change, the weather changes. Right now we have, the humidity changes. So as you get more into bass fishing, you'll probably start learning where you want to start your fishing based off the temperatures and winds and things like that. But just in general, like I said, the colors for me, that's the first thing I start with is how dark the overcast is going to be, how clear and murky the water is going to be. If you got a windy day, a lot of times your water might be murky. So a nice sunny bright day, you're probably going to be clear water. So it's things to think about. All right, we're still trolling. I'm not going near the banks, even though some of it looks really tempting right now. Right now I'm just trolling, talking, annoying y'all. So hey, y'all are listening to Naughty Fish. I'm out here in Virginia. I'm a kayaker, as y'all can tell. I'm talking about kayaking. Got my PFD on, got my net, rod holders, fishing rods. I will say this, a lot of people probably wonder, like, what's the difference between a kayaker and a John boat and a regular boat and all that nonsense. I tell you, there is a difference. when you're casting out of a john boat and you're casting one of these out of a kayak, a lot of times you're sitting down in the kayak. Some of y'all's kayaks you should stand in. I get it, which is good. You got good stability. This kayak I can stand in. I don't like to. I use my outriggers, which is a little bar down there where I can hook up outriggers to. But what I'm getting at is the rods y'all use. I'll see a lot of posts that say, what's the best rod? What's the best this? So when you're fishing out of a boat and out of a john boat and out of things like that, or even a pier or an ocean, your rods are gonna change. If you're bass fishing off a shore and you got a lot of obstacles in front of you, you're probably gonna get a longer rod. If you're bass fishing out of a kayak and you're in a 9-footer, you don't need that big of a rod, especially if you're undercasting underneath the brush. Oh man, Corona. So your rod lengths would change. If you're in a kayak and you're casting and there's a windy day or whatever, you're gonna realize the tip, when it vibrates, you'll get your line caught up on the tip of the rod. So you'll learn kind of sometimes having a thicker line on your bass rods when you're kayaking is sometimes better, and having a shorter rod that's just a little bit sturdier, maybe like a 6'9", 7'2", would be your ideal size when kayak bass fishing. Now, if you're on a john boat, that's a different story. You probably want to go bigger. You go from a 7'2" to a 7'9" type rods, more sensitive. Anytime that you get the chance to have a sensitive rod when you're fishing is really ideal, because you feel the bottom. You feel the bottom, you feel the structure, you feel the hits, you'll feel the bites. And you start learning, when you feel a hit, you'll learn if that is a small fish hitting it. You'll learn when to snag it or try to set the hook. You'll learn all these techniques as you're doing it. You'll learn when you're reeling in a catfish, when it starts to spin on you and move, that it's a catfish. Like right now, the pickerel, I already knew that was a pickerel. It has a drag to it. It has this distinct drag it does because of its long body and the way it moves. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it's a pickerel. So you'll start learning these things. Fishing, you'll learn that the rod length does matter, I think, when you're kayak fishing. So it's just little things to think about. It does change. So kayak fishing perspective is a little different. The way I change out my my leader lines in a kayak, y'all see me use those double swivels. I think it's easier when you're doing a kayak because you can change out the leader over and over again. A lot of kayakers will have 6 rods if you're bass fishing because they're already pre-rigged up, ready to go, which is perfect. You know that you're not getting inside the weeds. You're just kind of staying off the shore a little bit, off the bank, and you're casting into the bank, which is good. And that's your style. A lot of bass anglers who are kayakers normally don't switch back and forth. They normally don't go from bass fishing to saltwater and back and forth. And if they do, they might have 2 different rig systems for that. And the reason I'm saying that is, for me, if y'all seen the way I have my rig, I take everything off my boat. I put everything in my Jeep. I use one tackle box, main tackle box. So with that being said, I'm always re-rigging my stuff. And my leader lines, if I'm using a drop shot or whatever, I'm doing it right there in the kayak real fast. So I try to find ways to do it quick. So if you get the time to go home and do it at home and only use those rods specifically for what you're, like if you come out, you know you're only gonna do drop shot, you're only gonna do with an FG knot to the leader, etc. Like for me, the best knot to use for main line to leader line is the FG knot. It's smooth. It's a great knot that ends up gliding through your eyelets. It allows your lure to get really close to your tip. You can get a nice, accurate cast. That's the best way to do it, I think. If you're doing finesse jig and you could put a FG knot to it, that is my best, because braided line, I think, glides out of your eyes really well. But then having that FG knot to the leader just makes it even more ideal. And I don't like braid playing through the weeds. If you got braid line, I don't like the braid going through sticks and weeds and brush. I like that fluoro or that nylon, that mono, all that to go through the heavier stuff in the ground. It just makes it more ideal, I think. All right, y'all getting the sun side now. I'm doing a turnaround with my trolling here. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a quick pause. Hopefully pick it back up if we can catch some fish today. So far, I've only caught a pickerel, and I'm gonna pick up the speed. I'm gonna go off a little deep in over here. I'm aiming for waters about 15 feet. The lure on this side over here is about a 10 to 15 foot sinker. So, or deep sinker. So I'm gonna try to get that down there with some speed. The faster I go, the deeper it sinks. Slower I go, it comes right back up a little bit. This one here is a kind of like a 5-footer, so it's not too crazy. If I start seeing this rod hit more, then I know the fish are attacking the top. If I start seeing this rod hit more, then I know they're hitting the bottom. So some things to think about. I don't have my fish finder on today, so I'll look at different cues, different things. I'll test it out a little bit. Right now I'm doing deep. If I caught no fish doing deep, doing this right now, and without a fish finder, what I'm gonna know is I'm gonna go shallow now. I'm gonna go toward the brush. And if you're casting by the brush and you're not catching anything, then maybe you gotta go further in. Maybe I go more shallow, etc. So just things I think about. Also look at birds. You look at birds, you'll see birds attacking bait fish and shad and minnows and all that. Then go over there, there's probably some big fish following that. So, all right, y'all. Hey, y'all watching Nauti Fish. I appreciate the support, and hopefully this video wasn't too boring. Oh man, look at that area. It's really shallow, but look at all those stumps. Look at all that. Doesn't that look yummy? That looks good. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah. See that down brush right there? It's really shallow, so it's probably not ideal for a bass. But as these stumps right here, some of them got like little pockets in the ground, little holes. So if I was in cast over here, I'd probably be hitting like with a soft plastic, maybe like a creature crawl or something. I'll probably put maybe a lightweight on it or weightless. Texas rig would probably be one of the most ideal, I think. And I would try to hit every single one of those. Just let it fall on the edge of those stumps and wait a little bit. I'll wait a couple seconds and then slowly bounce it around is what I would probably do all through here. So I'm not doing that right now because I'm not changing out my rigs. I'm doing some trolling right now. I'll just give you all an idea. Also, maybe if you don't want to get tangled, play a top water like a spook or something like that, or a frog. Maybe, I don't know if a frog would be ideal because it's not a lot of coverage on top. Frog would be good for areas that have like a lot of weeds and lily pads, of course, and all that. So yeah. Even a crankbait would be good in there. Something shiny that you can kind of go really fast. Bad thing about treble hooks and cranks through that is you'll probably get snagged if you're not familiar with it. All right, let's go do some trolling.
I was checking them out earlier.
Oh man, look at this guy. Yep. He hit that guy right there, a little 911 custom lure. It's beautiful. Got him. Whew, last minute too, I'm headed in right now. Man, you are just a fish slayer. Let's see that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God. You don't even.
Nice.
All right. Good. All right, we are done skis. Andrew did pretty good today with a 17 plus. His son Logan did awesome today too. And we are out of Beaver. We're rushing, we're late. Close at 7:30, it's already 7:30, so we're mean.